XRP, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, if we refer to our analysis, since the price was within this move, after we get this down drop, because since we were expecting the price to drop to 0.53 before we get the reversal, and this is what we get. Okay, and now we want to see what's the next. And as we can see, the way is moving is really corrective, and as we can see, every time the price broke the previous stop, it start to drop, and this is what we get. Now the question is whether this is a start of the up move or not, but we need to see what the way is moving is really corrective. How high this one can go. Mostly if there is a continuation similar to what we have here, mostly we can expect the price to give us a bigger correction. We don't get the reversal. By the way, we start with the daily chart. You want to see how we can look at the chart. Okay. If we refer to our analysis, we mentioned we had two different cases. With the breakout of this, the next target we have been looking for 0.65 following by 0.75, because we mentioned if the price breaks 0.65, there is a continuation at that times. We cannot look for the reversal for the price to retest 0.36 or following by 0.34, because at that times you mentioned we may expect a deeper correction, but at that times we can look for the continuation. But we were more interested, but this is what we have been looking for. Since the price was within this move, we get any down move, we were expected to price to drop 0 to 0.36 following by 0.34. This is what we have been mentioned. We have been discussing. That's why we mentioned we want to see whether the price can break 0.65 or not. Even we mentioned, even from here, if the price drop, at least we can look for 0.42 following by 0.36. The price can drop to that level. And this is what we are more interested if we want to buy it for long term. Okay, by the way, it's still the way is moving, especially what we explained based on the 1 hour chart, still we can expect to get one more drop. But if there is a continuation with the breakout of 0.65, we cannot expect any more to price to retest 0.42 following by 0.36, series 0.39. Okay, that's why. And we mentioned if you want to buy within this range, we need to be quite careful. By the way, we don't have anything, and whatever we have here is still we are within this move. We are looking for this big correction. That's why we mentioned any drop from here. If this one give us any down move, the next move can give us a confirmation that this correction almost finished. But right now we cannot confirm. By the way, we move to forward chart. We want to see how we can trade it. We have been looking for this correction. But as we can see, the price tagged previous stop, which is 0.6, but it couldn't break. And every time we see the price broke the previous stop, it start to correct. And now we want to see whether we can get another correction here or not. Okay, and as I mentioned, if this one continues similar to what I draw here as a corrective, mostly we can expect the price to drop as long as the price haven't broke 0.65. Okay, that's why if you want to look for trade, we need to be quite careful. Can we expect this one? We get a correction similar to what you have here. We look for the running flat. Then at that time, we will have 1, 2, 3 as a first move, correction for the next move. Okay, now we want to see how we can trade it. But based on forward chart, we don't have anything. And if we get this shadow here, similar to what we have here, mostly we can expect the price to drop a bit more. Drop either similar to what we have here or this. Okay, and even if we put this one relative to this, we see what we have based on indicators. We see we have a divergence as well here. That's why we need to be quite careful. And if we move to 1 hour chart, and can we put this one? How we want to see what we have if we put all these things in relative to each other. All right, we see the divergence as well here and as well here. All right, now we want to see whether we can look for trade. We don't have any trade set up for buy. Okay, and the only thing is, can we look for, if we get a correction, can we look for trade similar to any of this move? We can, but the only question is we need to be quite careful, because mostly whenever we get the shadow, the next drop can be quite more. All right, the best things what I suggest right now, we don't need to jump into the trade. We wait, we see how we can look for how this correction can form. The best things, if this one drop a bit more, then any reversal from there we look for buy. But how about if the price continue from here? Having entry above this is really risky. It depends. I won't say anything. I won't suggest it unless we get any sharp move with the flag. Maybe we can look for buy. Rather than that, we don't have any trade, because when we have this kind of the correction, mostly we can expect the price to drop. How deep it can go, we need to see. As I mentioned, maybe we can look similar to what we have here, because at that time, so we can look for the internal flat. And even if you want to look for sell, we need to get a sharp move with the flag. We can look for sell, but with the breakout of this low, which is around 0.05, maybe we put it 0.055, we start to manage. But as I mentioned, we don't have any trade setup. I cannot suggest anything, because right now, mostly when we have this kind of the move, if there is a continuation, we have to get the one more drop. Okay. In this case, we don't have any trade setup. The best things, we wait, we see what we get from here. Even the price continue from here, we cannot get a trade unless we get a sharp move flag. Rather than that, having entry above the top is quite risky. As I say, we don't have any proper trade setup. Okay. And right now we cannot look for this correction, because already the price broke the top. And as I explained, based on forward chart, maybe we can look for running flat. If you want to look for buy, if we get the running flat, this is the best we can look for. By the way, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, then I will share. Thanks.